Hello, me hearties, or something along those lines. Hello, and welcome to this number 3 one shot of Blood on the Severn Beginnings 1747. This is a Vampire the Masquerade chronicle that will be set in Bristol, England. And we have been doing this as a series of historical one shots for our uh, upcoming chronicle. Right now, Blood on the Severn is on pause. More on that and news and updates coming to you during the break. And This is the third week in a row that we have lovely, lovely disaster ghouls saving our skins and coming and playing with us live. So, without further ado, with me tonight, let's introduce yourselves in character. So, Nat,
Hello, I'm Nat. I'm playing Jacinta, who is a gangrel.
Mitch,
Uh, I am playing Kraken the Nosferatu.
Elfings,
I'm playing Zechariah Dunson of Clan Giovanni.
and the lovely Cedar.
I'm playing Mr. Charlie Shrike of Clan Bria.
So there you go. A really interesting mix of clans and characters. This is first things first. We have been trying. This is the third week in a row that we've been trying streaming our games through online platforms remotely because wash your hands, don't go out, stay safe, and all that. We are still no masters of it, says he who's never a master of anything. But um, we might run into some hurdles, so bear with us. Everything is in the capable hands of the Dilly. So we have our tech ghouls in the background, and if everything explodes, just wait a minute, and we'll be back. Maybe a little scorched, but we'll be back. So the year is 1747. And this is a very interesting time during the history of Bristol because this is the tail end of what was the golden era of piracy across the globe. Um, Actually, for 1747 is one of the years the trade in Bristol started to become more strained, so to speak. One of the important aspects is that Bristol is second or third most important port and harbor in the UK. And right now, one of the things that is most profitable is the slave trade. So we're in the middle of the slave trade era. There are many people with thoughts for and against it, especially for slavery. Sadly, this is a very dark time in the history of humankind. But there are some that are uh, trying to make waves or at least change the status quo. Sadly, none of them are present in the middle of the night during a midnight slave auction in one of the by-sides of Bristol, right in the hold of a ship that was supposed to be importing cotton. There is a group of slaves that are being auctioned. Charlie is there. Charlie Shrike is there with his sire, the very fiery Elizabeth, and they're there. Yes, to be in the auction and yes to participate, but for very different reasons. So, if you could please describe Charlie to us, Cedar.
Charlie is in his late 30s ish. He is a 6 foot tall Aboriginal man, and he has long black hair that kind of hangs down to his chest. He's wearing a bead necklace, and he's wearing face paint that is a black stripe from his lip to his chin. He's wearing a pair of elk hide pants, but on top of it, he's wearing a fashionable shirt for the time and a jacket with moccasins.
So, Elizabeth, she is a white European woman. She is dressed more like a sailor from a crew than like a lady of society. Very practical clothing, trousers, high boots, a loose white shirt, and a vest with her hair on a ponytail. And over the course of the night, you two exchange glances, looking for very specific slaves to buy from this trip. You managed to get 2 of the 3 you were aiming for. And right at the end, after that, those exchanges happen. By the time Elizabeth is about to go and pay and reclaim the property, she approaches you and says, "Can you keep an eye on the one who's getting away?"
Well, I could keep an eye on him, or I could do something far more useful.
I'll leave it in your capable hands, honey.
Okay, so I'll just kind of like scope it out and stand a not suspicious distance away and keep an eye on this guy.
Okay, so the third person that you're looking at is also an Aboriginal man. Some of them had been taken slaves, and you've been scouting and trying to find the ones that have been brought so you can buy them and free them. So it's sort of like it's not ideal, but then when one of them is you're not able to buy because you're short on funds, then you just forcefully liberate them. This guy is youngish, around 17, 18, fetch a high price, probably because he's young, in the prime of his youth. He's a strong looking worker. So he was kind of out of Elizabeth's budget. He was purchased by a couple that looked very pleased with their purchase. They're only getting the one slave. They make quick work of the exchange of money. Money changes hand, and then they bring they slave with them, and they have a servant to attend them, and they walk into the out of the ship into the pier and start going towards the city.
I'm gonna follow them.
Excellent. Give me you're gonna be shadowing them, so I'm gonna ask you to do me it's gonna be a composure plus stealth roll, because basically you're gonna be walking around. I'm not gonna say crowd because it's far from crowded, but you're trying to not look like you are actually chasing people. Okay, that's 4 successes.
Ooh.
Okay,
Not bad.
It's a good roll. You work like anybody else, like minding your own business on the docks. Even though Charlie's an Aboriginal man, and he clearly is not, the typical white European you would see around in the rest of England. Bristol has a lot of influx of people from other places, and especially down the docks. Very common to see all sorts, and therefore he looks very nondescript and doesn't draw any attention to him. The couple have a small cart that is drawn by a mule, but it's very small and it's packed with other stuff. So the man sends the cart with his woman, and someone who could be a younger son or assistant, or someone who is clearly with them, not a slave, but is helping them and aiding them. You are not quite sure, but they move onwards, and this man, just holding the rope, walks with the man.
Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit close to them. I don't want to lose them, but I don't want to out myself. So
Okay.
I'm a little more eager now.
Okay, so are you going to be chasing them down for a while, or are you looking to make a move sort of soonish?
I'm thinking that as soon as they get into an area where I can jump them without anybody noticing, very obviously, I'm going to do that.
Cool. Do me a resolve plus stealth while you keep your focus and wait for the most opportune time.
Come on, roll 20. Don't do me like this.
You can do it.
It logged me out for a second. All right, cool. We're back.
It's okay. Oh, you're back?
Yeah. Didn't take
Okay.
long. So
Yes,
that was stealth, and what was the other one?
Resolve. And then again, 4 successes. You're on a roll. It pays off. It pays off. Eventually, it pays off that you walk some paces behind, and then sometimes they turn on the street, and you don't turn just to make sure that they're not looking at you, but then backtrack and do follow them, and do that for a few streets, until you arrive to an area that is a lot more desolate, a lot less populated, and a lot darker.
Okay. I'm gonna take a quick second, take my shirt and coat off, and just leave it on the sidewalk.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna approach them.
Are you gonna make it like evident that you're approaching
Oh
them?
yeah.
Or just...
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm just gonna walk right up.
Okay. Cool. I'm rolling. I'm happy with my rolls. I'm not happy with my rolls. So of course, at some point, the man turns and sees you, and sort of like pulls to his slave and goes from the cobblestones on the ground to what would be the sidewalk. That part that is not paved of that road, as if getting out of your way.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of like square up to him so he knows I'm talking to him, make eye contact, and I'm gonna say, "What do you think you're doing?"
Well, I'm going to my house, of course. What do you think you are doing?
I think I'm gonna take that boy from you.
And he just protectively sort of like tugs the rope to get the kid behind him.
Oh
And
no!
from his
Don't worry. He's not in danger. You're in danger.
From his coat, he produces a small flintlock pistol.
I'm gonna laugh.
I'm not afraid to use this.
I doubt that. And then I'm gonna jump him.
Okay. I'm gonna shoot you first.
Okay, fair.
I really hate that firearms in this era are so crap. I mean, there we go. Oop. And that is pathetic. Take 3 superficial, halved, rounded up to 2 superficial damage.
Okay.
I mean, he shoots at you, and he's quite loud, and it's the bright sparks and the smell of gunpowder, and that little bit of a puff of smoke that's created between the two of you. And of course, you feel it, and he sort of pushes you back a bit. But I mean, something that could have killed a mortal, not because of the shot placement, but because of the reason a lot of people died of gunshot wounds, which was infection. It's for you, it's nothing. And as you walk through the smoke, you have the man face to face.
I'm going to put a hand on his neck and then a hand on his shoulder, and I'm going to say that was extremely rude. And then I'm going to use lethal body and essentially just try to part his head from his shoulder.
Could you please do strength plus brawl check? You're not
Sure.
using other disciplines or rousing or anything, right?
I'm going to use lethal body.
Okay, yeah. So it'll be aggravated damage to a mortal. Okay. Strength plus brawl, please.
Yeah.
It's going to be one way because he already used his action shooting at you, and he was not expecting you to survive that. Please fail.
Let me see. Did it not go? Oh.
Strength plus brawl. You can add your specialty for. Oh shit! Forget about the specialty, or your brawl specialty of unarmed mortals, because it applied there. Well, no, he's not. Technically, he's not unarmed, so yeah, it didn't apply. So those greeny numbers mean, well, you're lucky that you got 2 normal dice rolling 10, because you have a 10 on your hunger die, but you will make a normal critical instead of a messy, for a total of 4, 5, 6, 7 successes. And you had a margin of 1. Sorry, a static difficulty of 1, so that's a margin of 6 aggravated damage to the mortal. So yes, exactly as you described it, Charles Strike walks past the puff of gunpowder smoke, puts a hand on the man's shoulder and says, "That was extremely rude," and with the other hand just tears at it and literally opens him from neck down to his sternum. He doesn't rip him apart, but he's clear that it's destroyed. The man that's tied behind him is kind of scared shitless. Because I would assume that.
Yeah, I did this all in front of him.
Yeah, also you will feed, I would assume.
I'm going to feed in a second. I'm just going to drop the body as of right now. And I'm going to grab the rope. And I'm going to pull him towards me. And I'm going to take...
No resistance.
I'm going to take the knife out of the waistband of my pants. And I'm going to cut the rope. I'm going to look at him. And I'm going to say, "You better get the fuck out of here." And then I'm going to turn back to the body.
The fact that you speak to him in his tongue is very striking to him. And he does reply, "The Wendigo," and starts running as you start feeding from not just the blood, but the organs.
I'm gonna eat that guy's heart.
Oh, okay. You have a resonance. You will have sanguine resonance. Sorry, choleric. I read the wrong column. The choleric. He was like, actually, you drove him to a very bad place. So that's the story of a poor slaver who met an awful end. Not all of them meet such destinies. On that auction that night, there was also a man walking about, making the necessary purchases. Some of them even became trades. Give me 3 of those slaves. I will give you 2 of my old ones, and I'll pay you the difference. Or vice versa. Someone who knows how to do the trade. Often enough, he would go from dealing to a corner to talk to a man, and then again deal and do anything he needs to, and then go back and talk to a man. And this person ends up doing a lot of profitable exchanges, and through his hands, not a single slave passes. Everything is agreed, everything is taken care of, somebody else is doing it. Alistair Dunsern approaches his brother after a hectic night of business. I believe that would be it. We have all the deals we wanted.
Looks like it. And others from my line of work seem to have not gotten all of theirs.
Yeah. Well, I'm really worried about you know who. She's been still making waves. She's been still getting into our business. And I'm worried that she wasn't here tonight. And of course, you both know this is someone you have been having issues in the past on all of your ventures. The problem is that Valeria Rogers is also an Anarch and one of kind of good standing. That doesn't mean that she doesn't want to see you fall, and the feeling's mutual.
Don't worry about her too much. She should be getting what's coming to her soonish.
Soonish? Come on, let's leave. I think this is done for the night.
Yeah, we have all we came for. Is there a dinner tonight, or?
Yes, actually, we're going to meet for dinner. We're going to meet with dinner. The moment you step into the streets and you stop the business, like Alistair's demeanor changes a lot, and he starts to talk to you as your brother, because he is. So you were saying soonish. What do you mean with soonish?
Not in the streets, but I have someone on it. Should be. He should be done with the job this night, and then we can send him directly to her.
Oh, excellent. And when did you set up? Is it one of your friends? What? Now, come on.
Business partner, but.
Oh, come on! Don't keep me like I'm your brother. Tell me.
He doesn't exactly have the prettiest face, but calls himself Kraken.
Oh. So he does like exist and everything, right?
Yeah, he does.
Oh,
Quite a character.
If he's as ugly as I've heard,
it's probably a bit too flattering a description.
And you laugh and joke about it, like, and at some point you pass over, in front of those areas that have sex workers and the like, And jokes are passed amongst the owners of the establishment who buy slaves on occasion for as servants, um, uh, but also trying to figure out what would be a good way to find next week's family dinner. But
How
it is to
about that?
say,
How about that one? That one looks nice.
okay, once you get home, dinner is served. Out of the Dunsern family, the only blood of the Dunsern, the true blood of the Dunsern, is the two of you and an older cousin. But she's here mostly to aid and help, and she has made sure that dinner is there for the three of you because family is still important. And you sit
Yes.
around the table and you hold hands. And she looks at the both of you, asking how the night went, and you have a very cordial and happy conversation. The dinner is great. The food is as you remember it from your living
To the
days.
point.
Yes. And she does have the touch of your grandmother when she seasons the meat.
Yes.
It brings special flavor to it. And as we leave this happy trio having a very lovely family dinner and move our sides around the kitchen, we can see all the work she has gone through to prepare that man. Because the Dunsterns, when they like someone, they really mean they like someone. And it's more likely for them to eat you than for them to kill you in any other way. But yes, it is the middle of the night of the third night of sailing. Your body is sore, Kraken. You are in this crate, in the hold, and you do know that after the ship left Bristol, a couple of hours later, the small ship with your crew sailed behind her, and they would wait till the third day to come and pick you up. They've been tailing. They better be. You still check on your pocket, and you have the stone that was given by your crewmate. They will find you as long as you keep this safe. But it's time, and it's quiet. What do you do?
Okay, so I'm on the inside of the ship.
You are, yes, you're in the cargo hold, and you asked by someone who will give you information to do this little favor. In exchange for finding the whereabouts of the business of Valeria Rogers, you need to get this sorted. This ship needs to be lost in the North Sea. This is one of the ships that is in the little private enterprise of Valeria Rogers, and your contact Zachariah said that since you both have a common enemy, you help him with this. He'll help you find the woman who betrayed your sire, killed him, and took his ship. The ship she tricked him into build for her.
Okay, so I will, basically go to the inside of the hull and kind of tear my way out. I don't really I don't want the water to start coming in yet, so I've probably located a good point that I can use to get out because I want to be on the outside of the ship.
Oh, you wanna go out? Okay.
Mhm.
Are you gonna be using any of your disciplines?
Yes, I will activate Uncanny Grip so that I can
Okay. So
stay held onto the outside of the
in
ship.
your character sheet in the bottom, can you do a rouse check?
I can.
And you don't go hungry. So for the rest of the scene, you start literally climbing with your bare hands and feet, digging your fingers and toes into the hardened wood of the hull, mostly along the beams, until you find that you have climbed enough to be above the water line. You can hear the water splashing on the outside, hitting the hull as the sail of the sea as the ship sails.
So I kind of use my unnatural strength to kind of.
So you're gonna
crack
go with
and
prowess too.
Yes.
You know me, I like those rouse checks. Maybe people get hungry, maybe people do get hungry. Yeah. And
Yeah,
you get a little bit hungrier.
it's fine.
Hunger too. Just there at the bottom of the sheet, you can just put it.
Yeah.
You go dig your fingers in it and push through. What's your strength?
3.
So I was saying
But with prowess is
6. So you have strength 3, potence 3, for a total equivalent strength of 6. But also, lethal body is the one you have.
Yeah.
It allows you to also ignore some sort of like armor or hardness rating. So it feels once you call upon the blood, it becomes very easy to dig through this hardened wood and
So
crack it open.
I'm obviously using Silence of Death as well. So
And no one can hear a single sound. You create an opening big enough for you to get out. A little bit of water might splash in, but you can get out and climb, sort of, using your hands and feet over the hull.
So what he'll do now is basically go around the outside of the hull under the water line and kind of not make holes, but make little cracks and weakening the wood kind of all the way around until he gets to the other side.
Does your Descendant of Celios lore sheet allows for a roll to identify weaknesses in structures?
I believe there is a difficulty check to it. Yeah, sorry, I did not.
No, it's okay.
Let me find
Because
this
it could
real
be
quick.
very interesting. Also, that's a good moment to bring up that we're using lore sheets. And in this case, Kraken is a descendant of Celios. Or at least, not directly, but not too close. He has the gifts and the knowledge and the training of someone who knows how to build stuff and how to create.
It says I instinctively know where the weaknesses are.
I hate when things are OP.
But there's a difficulty roll for me to actually destroy it.
Oh, yes, the difficulty for it. Okay, how long do you want this to?
You can set.
Yeah. That's my question. What's the effect? Do you want it to start making water slowly, or do you want it to? Do you want to weaken it enough so once you do the final one, it's a cascade, like a domino effect, and it's super difficult to. Okay.
So he's basically going to make kind of different weak points on the wood around the ship, and then at some point we'll just tear a hole in it, and
this is going to be an interesting
those points will kind of crack and make chaos.
So this is going to be an interesting one because this is going to be a strength plus craft shipbuilding check. Strength plus craft.
Okay.
Yes, I love crazy rolls. You add to the total so you add a number of dice to the roll equal to your prowess because equal to your potence because prowess adds also to strength checks. So that's going to be.
Yeah. And then does my specialty also apply?
Which is yes,
shipbuilding on craft.
Yes, that is exactly the specialty because you know how to build them and of course how to destroy them. For those of you who are watching the screen and seeing a disgusting amount of dice, that's what Kraken does. 7 successes. That is enough because I had set it at 6.
Oh, nice.
Enough for you. So Kraken climbs down and moves, sort of a 1700s version of an undead Spider-Man. No needing to hold your breath. Just you feel the very cold water washing all the way around you as you start making cracks, pulling here and there. And at some point at the end, when you are moving from fore to aft, you dislodge the rudder.
Yeah,
that one. You dislodge it from position, so and you would imagine what would happen upstairs. People would go like, we lost the steering.
For the last thing, I'll turn Silence of Death off so they hear the cracks and things going.
Exactly. And that's when you literally tear to the last joint that was sort of keeping things together and let go. The ship continues without you, but the loud creaking of the wood as it starts making water and it starts like some areas of the ship are wanting to pull upwards while the weight of the cargo is just tearing things out. It is an awful, a dreadful noise, loud. And if you need to breathe air to leave, the prospect of it is quite daunting. Now, all of you, so you see all of them start screaming and start doing things. The ship just keeps on moving. You see the lights on it. You're just staying there afloat on the water.
I will dive underwater and basically be swimming under the ship.
Okay. The ship, it eventually stops, but you see her, like, you see a moment in which it's starting to make water, goes sideways, and then cracks. And that's it. The moment it cracks, and it cracks all the way along the lines that you have weakened. Once the hull cracks, you start seeing people jumping overboard.
Okay. Well, unfortunately for one of those people, I am going to swim and basically drag them under the water and feed on them.
Oh my god! Can I get what's your strength plus athletics pool
for swimming?
You have the specialty in swimming.
Yes.
Can I?
And prowess will apply as well.
Yes. What is the total of that disgusting pool?
10.
Shit.
So, pretty much like a shark underwater, moving with preternatural speed. You go for one of the guys that jumps overboard, lands in the water, and when he starts to swim upwards after the dive, you pull him by the leg into the depths to feed. I would assume
I will fully drain him.
Fully drain him because it makes no sense to just feed and then let him drown.
Yeah.
Okay. You get your hunger to 0. It is a few hours of desolation. Some people manage to get some rowboats down. There's some survivors, but the ship is lost.
Okay.
You, of course,
Are survivors okay? Have I been told that survivors are okay? Or
yeah. Well, so survivors, they can be like the important thing for Sakurai was for that ship to sink.
Okay.
Anything else, not paying for it.
okay,
Not doing any additional favors.
oh, they can be on their rowboats then. That's fine.
Okay. You swim, so instinctively backwards,
Mhm.
treading water sometimes, or just floating there waiting. It gets cold. I mean, you have no body heat yourself, and whatever little sort of temperature that you could get from your animated corpse is stolen away rapidly by the surrounding waters. But not too long ago, not too long after that, you see a light in the distance of a ship approaching, and you know who they are, and you know it's your crew, and you know they got your back.
I'll swim towards them. Swim back to my ship.
Is it done, Captain?
Yes.
Back to Bristol then.
Let's get our payment.
Let's take it back, boys. And they start making the route back to Bristol. It'll be a few days sail, so it's a good thing you had a plentiful. I missed the opportunity before I move onto our next scene. I missed the opportunity of a description from both Kraken and Zachariah. So, if Mitch, could you please describe Kraken for us?
Mm-hmm.
Now that he's in deck and he's no longer a shadow on the waters, sinking ships and killing people.
Yep. So Kraken is quite tall. He's about 6'4". He is a male. He is Caucasian, but his skin is very it's like a pale grey. And he has kind of long, stringy black hair and eyes that are a little bit unnervingly far apart, and a mouthful of crooked teeth. And his arms are very long, kind of just a little bit unnaturally long. So he has quite odd and uncomfortable proportions. He's quite strong, but all the muscles are kind of like stretched because they're over this like length. And yeah, it's Kraken.
Elfings. How does Zachariah look?
Zachariah is a man in his late 20s. He has the look of someone who was once maybe fit, but to way too much wine and food of the special variety in his case became bloated. But he also has pox scars on his face from a survived smallpox infections in his earlier youth. And he mostly dresses in formal wear and wears a powdered wig.
So he has the whole wig with the big sideburns and the pot.
Yeah.
And the body that you left to waste to women and wine. Okay. So now all of this is happening in this in or around Bristol, with the exception of sinking a ship in the North Sea. or on its way to the North Sea. But there is something that we have not touched upon, and it is the current situation of Bristol. And in a small pub and a tavern in the center of Bristol, there's a group of people having a conversation in a corner, and they are explaining some of those things to someone who is a little bit of a newcomer. Jacinta has been here not for long, and she has been really interested in the comings and goings of the city. It is very odd that there is such a, let's call it, important Anarch presence in a Camarilla, in a city where the Camarilla is also there. That there is always tension, but there's rarely war. And the fact that now there is a group of independents that are officially recognized, or have been for a few years now, for a few decades actually, it's kind of interesting. Like the workings of the city itself are weird, but then when you go into the Anarch movement, it's even weirder. It's a lot weirder. They are divided into groups that sort of follow a structure, which sort of makes sense and sort of doesn't. Some people choose representatives depending on their area or their allegiances, and those representatives speak in a council, and then they make decisions in that council, and then the spokesman of the council, which is in this case the eldest and most respected of the Anarchs, Roger, well, he goes by Smith nowadays, he discusses that with the Prince of the Camarilla and the Master of Trade. But this thing of the representatives, I mean, it's a very progressive idea, having voting for someone to represent the interests of others. But it's so loose. It's so sometimes it feels as if done on a whim, even. So Jacinta is right now sitting in that table and having a very interesting conversation with a group of Anarchs. One of them is Ian Thorpe, which is let's call him, he's respected, but not necessarily trusted by everybody. He is the child of Roger Smith, but he was the primogen, the Camarilla primogen of the Toreador clan until about 50 years ago or so. And then decided that he couldn't, in good spirit and because of how he felt, he couldn't remain in the Camarilla, having his sire in the Anarch movement, and he himself not feeling actually that the Camarilla was the answer he thought it was when it was created, because this is a man who predates the Convention of Thorns. Next to him is his child, Valeria Rogers. She is the archetypical Toreador Anarch. Beautiful, smart, independent, strong, and also well liked, at least by a certain group of people. There's also other representatives of the movement. You do know that Ian and Valeria are Toreador because of all the bloodline thing with Roger, but the other people like Deirdre, she is, you have no idea what clan she might be. She's just a representative for people that are in the boroughs of southwest of Ashton Court. And then you have Tobias Kent, who is really keen on becoming a representative. If he knew of one, it would be very easy to find out what he could do. So, Jacinta, describe yourself.
Okay, so Jacinta is a woman in her late 20s. She's probably average height for a female. She's quite athletic. Looks like she can handle herself in a fight. She is quite beautiful looking. Dresses in formal wear, but she always manages to get it a little bit wrong. Looks a little bit scruffy. Dirt streaked across her face, etc.
Okay, cool. So they're having a conversation, and I think this is a conversation that was done mostly for your sake. At some point, you approach them and ask them, "Hey, let's have this chat because I have questions." And they have tried to explain to you how the whole representation business works. So everybody in the anarchy, how they call it themselves internally sometimes, everybody in the movement in the anarchy is very very keen on the whole equality thing, as in my voice and my vote should be equal to others. And it is difficult to have a group of, like, such a large group like the Anarch movement be a place where everybody can have their voices heard at the same time. If we wait for one person to say for every person to say what they want, we will never reach an accord of any kind. But representatives, people you vote for and you choose, they can voice the opinions of others, and those opinions can be put towards the council, and then the council will speak with the voice of all anarchs, or at least the majority. Valeria is the one that is explaining this, and she believes firmly that this is sort of like the way it has to be done. Ian does say we have to be mindful of who is made a speaker. We cannot allow just anyone to be a representative. Some people need to know what they're doing and how they deal with it they represent. It can become a real issue. Forgive my sire, Jacinta. He still has some of the old ways in him. Ian, anyone who with a desire will do. Desire to be better, I think, is what will drive us to improve. Don't you think, Jacinta?
I think you're doing a bit too much talking, to be honest. Shouldn't we be crippling the Camarilla? Doing something around here?
Well, the situation with the Camarilla is a complicated one. It's not easy for us to get rid of them without heavy losses. I know it because of my time with them. They will not go down easily. Also, many other big and important cities across England belong to the Camarilla. So, what would you think would happen if we try to rally as many anarchs as we can? Many of them have fled to the colonies across the Atlantic. Here in England, Camarilla still reigns supreme. And that's when Tobias says, so you're implying that we are actually should be grateful to the Camarilla, Mr. Thorpe? I find that very hard to believe. We're not here because they allow us to be. We're here because we've carved this area for ourselves. And you can feel the passion of the guy. Has not much of a clue what he's doing or saying, but he has his heart in the right. So what would you propose we do, sister?
I would propose that we use the organization that we have, the people we have. If we call, the people that went, they will come back. They will help us. We have to try.
So, create a stronghold? like a stronger footing here?
Yes, why not?
Ian says, those are dangerous ideas. Right now, if we start bringing people, they will see it as an act of aggression, and they will start bringing people. So I believe it's better the way the Accords are working. We have split the city in twine, and we're keeping one of those places. So I do not believe that is a sensible course of action. Although Jacinta, if you would like to have that discussed on the council, it would be to your advantage maybe to try and take it to Roger, my sire.
I would. I think someone needs to show some fight around here.
I'm sad to say that he would agree. I'm happy with the arrangements we have. We're at peace, and we do control part of the city. But I understand your position. I will make the arrangements for you to meet with Roger, Mr. Smith, as soon as possible. Any other questions you had about the city or the way we do things here?
No, I think that about does it. Thank you.
Well, then I will leave you. I have other matters to attend to. And then this thing that initially had been sort of let's answer questions, and then became a proper Anarch conversation of let's just kick the camera out of the city, please. Slowly dies down as everybody else finds their niche for the night. A few days later, you Jacinta are given an invitation to no, it's not an invitation, it's like an envelope with an address for an appointment. You have been granted an appointment with because English is important, with Roger Smith. So you have an appointment with him in a week hence. And a week happens, and when you're getting ready for your appointment the following night, you are summoned. All of you are. All of you are summoned by Deirdre. Deirdre is one of the Anarchs. One of the Anarch representatives. She's there with her child, a woman, one of the suffragettes, trying to move female equality upwards. And they look distraught. Have you heard the rumors?
What rumors?
It's just the four of you, Deirdre, and the child. Like, well, it's good. It's not in the street. Baron Roger Smith has disappeared. We have no idea where he is. No one knows. His whereabouts are unknown. And this comes at a very bad moment. Because he was supposed to handle a vote in the factions council. And I am afraid the Camarilla might have done something.
Done something? What do you mean?
So there is an area in the docks. There has been a lot of movement around that area in recent nights, and someone has been trying to. Someone from our faction has been spying on those efforts. Even though the docks belong to the Master of Trade and this new independent autarchies crap. Right now, they have been given into concession to the Camarilla. A few nights back, Roger Smith met with some of the people because of these sort of concessions and things. That the last people to see him were his servants last night when he left to that place, and then he went to his haven.
So the last time they saw them, the last time he was seen was before he moved to that area at the docks?
Yes. Some of his servants swear that he went back and spent the evening there, but he wasn't there when the sun went down. And I suspect foul play, because the person that gave us that information told us that they saw someone on the deck of on the deck of the ship that was being visited, pouring blood and chanting all over the deck.
Well, this is fantastic news. An active war, and we didn't even have to start it.
We need to be absolutely certain, because if the Camarilla did take down Roger Smith, the autarchies will be forced. According to the accords stipulate that they will have to side with us. So yes, this might be in war, but this might mean the war we want. And it sounds too good to be true. So I want you all to go and check.
Of course.
And that is where we will pause for a break. So I think the only one with a frozen screen right now is Nat. And I think the only person I see frozen is Nat.
Yeah.
And I think her screen is frozen on her. And so probably I am with a weird look, like, you know, one of those, like, very unflattering middle of a blink. I think that now that we're in the break, it would be good for Nat to reset her connection. In the meantime, we will have a very special announcement by somebody that you all know and love, and who is currently making an appearance. So I will leave the desk for him. Special announcement incoming.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, so nice to see your
Hello.
faces. Hello. So, some of you who may have read the blog post will be aware that we need to make some plans about what we're doing, because it looks like we're going to be in this lovely lockdown for a bit longer still into the future. So what I wanted to do is just talk a bit about what we're going to do over the next few weeks, and also what you might want to do if you want to be involved and join us. So next week, we are going to be finishing season 2 of Blood on the Tamases. So we'll be running episode 10, which is the season finale, where more than likely there will be a duel between Reading and Oxfordshire's princes to decide the fate of both domains. And there may also be a bit of light kindred murder also going on in the background as well. We shall see. So that is going to be on the 20th of April. And then on the the following kind of 3 weeks, so starting on the 27th of April, we are going to do some more one-shots. Historical one-shots. This time, though, instead of being set in Bristol for Blood on the Severn, they're going to be set in Oxfordshire for Blood on the Tamases. And as before, we're going to make some of the players up for those games from you, the good people who watch our stream. So if you'd like to be involved, then what I would suggest you do is get over to our Discord, join our Discord if you haven't already, and check in with Mitch there to flag up your interest, and then we will go from there about creating a space to talk further. So this is going to be, in terms of the dates that you need to be available, there will be one running on the 27th, as I say, one on the 4th of May, and then the third on the 11th. So the first memoriam is going to take place in the Dark Ages. The second one is going to take place in, I believe, 1772. And the third one is going to take place in 1962. Now, it's worth mentioning that there are only 3 empty slots in each game. So slightly fewer slots than the last time around. So if you want to play, do jump in sort of sooner rather than later. And if you do jump in and the slots are already full, we can obviously put you on a waiting list, because sometimes slots become available again. It's also worth mentioning that there will be options on each one shot, either for you to create your own characters or potentially to play younger versions of some of the characters that you might have seen in the main chronicle, which could be a bit of fun as well. But again, we can talk more about that in our channels. It's worth mentioning as well that we have kind of further exciting projects which will kind of come after this set of one shots. Also including, of course, season 3 of Blood on the Thameses, but we will give you more on that in the future. So I'm going to be jumping back into chat if anyone wants to talk to me there about that in more detail. But otherwise, do jump over to the Discord and say, yes, I'd like to play. And if you have any particular dates that you want to be involved in, then again, let us know. That would be really useful. So on that note, I'm going to flee the scene and hand you back over to Carlos.
Bye, Peter.
Bye.
Flying swap.
Hello. Hey, look, a non-frozen Natalie.
Look, I'm already getting messages about people that want to be in this one shot.
Then I haven't written you yet.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So
Apologies if my Discord notifications are coming through. I don't think they are. But...
Same. I don't know what's happening. If you couldn't tell, there was a point where I just looked really focused, and that's because I was trying to turn everything off.
Okay, so there you heard it from the man, the myth, the legend himself, the Peter, the Kazoo Lord. We're gonna be having finally episode 10 of season 2, Blood on the Thameses. Something that I am looking very much towards to. I don't think Theodore is. Too much to do, too many dice to roll, not enough blood to spend. And then after that, we're gonna be having 3 historical Blood on the Thameses one shots, 3 spaces each. So 3 is a magic number, and this is gonna be 369. So only 9 people will be in our exclusive club of historic making streams, one shots,
The
rock and
historic
roll.
club of old vampires.
Yes. Do we have any questions, Dylan?
Hello. Yes, we do have some questions.
Not related to everything that Peter said.
No. Just
Okay,
ask
cool.
any questions on that. Okay, so we're going to start off with some questions from Misan Balance asking, who would win coterie versus coterie in the 3 one shots?
I want to hear what you guys think, coterie versus coterie in the 3 one shots, and then I will give my opinion.
I mean, like, I don't want to screw with the 2 little old ladies from the first one because I feel like they could bury you in a garden real fast. And I mean, Charlie respects women super hard, so he wouldn't even test it. No, he would just be very polite and nice to them because he's a little bit. So they would win just by default.
Okay, what do you think, Nat?
Yeah, I second that. I think, especially if you haven't got Charlie, I think we're a goner against them too. So yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, all things.
I mean, if it's dragged out long enough, I'm pretty sure with projects we could probably win because I have a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's let's move it into the future and stuff. I think the money of the concerned bankers could, like, you can fund it. Um, well, I am going to give my personal impression. If you take everybody with a time machine from the period they played and put them together, because if not, the Camarilla were in 1600. So if you bring everybody today, they're all going to be elders, 400 plus, almost 500-year-old elders. You are going to be something like 300 and something years old elders, and then you move to the autarchies. Uh, so taking them out on a time machine and putting them together in a royal rumble, the autarchies will win because all of them were Ancilla when we played.
Mhm.
All of them. Ambrose was an Ancilla gangrel. That's dangerous. Susanna is an Ancilla Toreador steampunk girl. You know? And that is not to mention the two, sorry, the Samedi Cappadocian duo, where Thomas is an elder Samedi, sorry, is an Ancilla Samedi with a good variety of lordships, but also of disciplines, but also lordships. But last but not least, would you really want to mess with someone with Oblivion 4 and
Oof.
rituals and shit?
Because
Because
who needs Oblivion?
Nah.
You just need money.
Yeah, keep thinking that. We'll see how far you get, my friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Well done, son. Went pretty well to the family reunion. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I really don't think you can make dinner out of Shadow Tentacle.
But no, this is worse. This is the Oblivion sort of necromancy. Crazy. Let's talk to spirits and summon them and bind them and do weird rituals and send people to the Shadowlands. I mean,
I don't like talking to my dinner.
oh, well. Next question, please. So yeah, my opinion is the Ancillas, of course, because they're Ancillas.
Okay, so we got next from Buckley Zephyr, so Phil.
Mhm.
Bit of inspiration for your characters and our clans. I think we've got a few which we haven't had before, so Mitch, you got your Nosferatu, which we haven't had in the series yet.
Yeah. So what was the inspiration?
So I mean, honestly, a lot of the inspiration was, well, the setting of pirates is just, I mean, you gotta play a pirate vampire. Come on.
Yarr!
You can like swim underwater without having to breathe and stuff. You can do the whole like Pirates of the Caribbean thing. And for Kraken, I always like the idea in vampire games of characters that inspire or create rumors and folklore and that kind of thing. And so sort of having this Nosferatu with like these really long arms that, like, you know, if a ship is sinking, then maybe like if somebody sees like an arm coming through the side, they might think it's a tentacle and that kind of thing, and like feeding into the kind of folklore of the Kraken. But also the setting let me do one of my favorite things, which is taking some of the worst abilities in the game and making them useful.
Yeah.
which I always like doing. It is known by Peter and Carlos as a classic Mitch.
A classic Mitch.
Is taking the worst abilities in the game. But you know, like the saboteur thing on Descendant of Zelius, I think is really cool, but it's basically useless in modern day because you can't really go like
Destroy.
collapsing buildings and things.
But the same with Uncanny Grip. I mean,
Yeah,
yes, really useful that you can like dig your fingers and your toes in concrete if you want, but then there's a very easy trail to follow, you know. And also, the rappelling has gone so far in the last few decades that who needs that anymore? So Uncanny Grip, I think it's like, especially for a level 3 power.
Yeah, so kind of Kraken was made to kind of hit the sweet spot in the middle of all of these things, of making those things useful. As you just seen, it's very effective. sinking a ship with his bare hands, which I just think is cool.
Yeah, I mean, single-handedly, that's pretty cool. So, concept for how do you came up with the concept for your character Selfanes?
I was
Zachariah,
reading
how
a
did
bit
you-
on the time frame, and I read that it was the year that Liverpool overtook Bristol as the biggest slave port in the UK. So I came up with the idea of making a character who was already a monster long before he got embraced, and the Dunstan kind of fitted right into that.
Yeah, I mean, they were cannibals in mortal life way before the Giovanni found them, and then they incorporated them to the clan. So
Also, I just like playing clans that don't spec into their signature discipline at all.
yeah, that is amazing because the Dunstan are definitely not Oblivion practitioners.
Oh.
But they will aspect themselves. Oh, for those of you that might have questions about it, the Dunstan are a sort of like a bloodline or part of the Giovanni clan. They are described in Calls of the Blood Gods by Onyx Path Publishing. And we are using, for the purposes of this one shot, the different bloodline disciplines aspect. So basically, instead of the default Hecata aspects, Fortitude and Oblivion, the Dunstan have Dominate. I think it's Fortitude and Oblivion.
Yes.
Yeah, Fortitude, Dominate, and Oblivion. So if you wanted to know how we're dealing with it, I did do like for this particular one shot, we house rule it that way. It's just because it gives it a little bit more flavor that the bloodline did stray away from the path of the normal disciplines and then reunited later. Nat, tell us about the concept and how you came up with the idea of Jacinta.
Well, I have ST'd a VTM campaign before. I've never actually been a player character. And Gangrel was just my favourite clan. And I quite liked the boardroom Gangrel archetype in the V5 book.
Yeah.
So they hasn't really showcased it yet. I quite like the idea of this kind of beastal person trying to be a little bit of a diplomat and sometimes getting it on the mark and sometimes failing. But she's trying, so that's what matters.
I like it. And Cedar, tell us about Charles Strike.
Well, y'all know I love beefy vampire boy, so I had to make one of them. But as a native person myself, I wanted to create a character that like looked like me. I wanted that representation. So it's something that I hadn't seen particularly in vampire. So I made him Algonquin, which is from Ontario. I'm from northern BC. So I just wanted to like just do something fun for myself to have a little bit of representation. And then I also wanted to bring the Legend of the Wendigo into it because it like suits vampires very well. The Legend of the Wendigo is like this a man or a woman who cannibalizes during winter and then they get turned into this like wraith like creature that roams the wastelands and like eats people, and it like really suits vampires very well. So I put all these things together and then I made him extra beefy and extra angry. And then I was like, nothing's angrier than the Bria. So I slapped that in there, and I was like, damn, you can fit so much anger in this boy. And then I decided to play him.
Okay, Bruya comes to mind.
Okay, yeah.
Dylan, anything else? Thank you for that, guys.
Yeah, so we have from Sparrow, she's asking, are you all excited to be playing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I hate
Very.
being here.
And the awful stuff haven't even started, which is what people like the most, right?
Yeah.
And then also, Kirsty's asking, did everybody manage to eat some Easter eggs over the weekend?
I have an Easter squirrel right here.
I didn't understand the question.
Did people eat some Easter eggs over the weekend?
I've almost finished it. It's
No Easter egg for me.
I'm on a diet.
Oh, lame.
I am really.
is
Now,
there such thing as a diet and quarantine? It's
I'm trying.
a Diantine. Any more for any more, Dilly?
Yeah, so Izzy's asking, what is your and your character's spirit animal.
Ooh.
Oh,
I guess like a shark or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like,
And what's your spirit animal?
what's my spirit? I don't know.
It's yours and your characters.
I don't know what my spirit animal is.
Okay.
Maybe like a fox.
I need to Google
or
spirit
something.
animals. Sorry.
It's just what animal do you think your character would be if you were an animal? If this were Zootopia or any other of those movies that they turn people into animals.
Okay, then my character would probably be a spider.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I like it. Let's go with just your characters. Nat?
Probably wolf. Sorry to be typical, but
Business wolf.
And Cedar?
Charlie's a raven.
A raven. Nice. Nice mix. Nice. I like it.
Okay.
Any more for anyone?
Yeah, we'll end with what did people have for breakfast?
Yeah. Take it away. All things. Let's start with you.
I had a bunch of boiled eggs with salt and pepper.
Nice. Mitch?
I had scrambled eggs on toast with brown sauce. The best sauce to have on scrambled eggs.
I
Nat?
had beans on toast, egg, and ham with red sauce, which is the best sauce.
Oh my god, we're gonna start this debate. Cedar?
I had a piece of rhubarb pie and an iced coffee.
So someone read a page from Len's book and went, let's do something special for this moment in this question. I just actually had cereal at like breakfast time, UK time. So I'm not gonna be bragging that it was like, oh, it was 6 hours less in Venezuela. No, I had breakfast at around 6:30 or 7 a.m. in the morning, and it was cereal, which is a normal breakfast. And so I had breakfast food at breakfast time. Be proud of me. Ha.
Well done.
Okay, I think we're ready. Then that was the last one, right, Dilly? Excellent. Excellent. You are back in the presence in this house. You are in the living room of a house, a normal, nondescript house. In the presence of Deidre, the representative, and she just has told you that someone has been seen performing chants and things with blood on a ship that is in a part of the piers. It's one of the piers that, even though the piers by right of the Accords belong to the autarkies and all the waterways, it has been sort of given temporary control to the Camarilla, as if on lease or something. What worries her is the fact that you don't have many, that is to say none, blood sorcerers in the Anarch movement. It sounds that what was going on could be done by a Tremere, and it's well known that the Tremere sided with the Camarilla the moment it was created, and there are of course Anarchs. There have been Anarchs of the Tremere clan, but the clan structure is so, let's call it ruthless, just to call it something nice, that very, very few people manage to escape that stronghold they get on most of their kindred. And so that's why things point in the direction of the Camarilla. We know nothing about the nature of the ritual. We don't know nothing about the nature of anything here. I have no idea.
Is this area of the docks the one with the traders that mostly deal with the colonies?
Yes. And one of the reasons I specifically called for you, Mr. Sakurai, is because, well, because the ship that people saw this chanting and ritual happening was the Midnight Rose.
Okay.
Which worries me.
These people that saw this person, can we speak to some of them?
To our spy,
Yes.
and she turns, and you're like, right here.
Do you have a better description than you just saw someone? Did they have any notable features?
Well, they had a big robe and long hair let loose in the middle of the night, lit by moonlight. My eyesight is not that great. But I think it was female. It was a woman, most definitely.
And do you know of any notable female Tremere in the Camarilla?
There are a couple. But since this is someone that's traveling back and forth from the colonies and the mainland, it could have been sent. But yes, there are there are a couple of women in the Tremere, but it didn't look like any of them. Like,
And what just disappeared
not local.
yesterday? Yesterday?
Well, this morning.
Yeah.
Well, this evening. So last time someone saw him was last night.
Is that not an Anarch ship?
It's exactly my problem. The Midnight Rose is was an Anarch ship.
What do you mean was?
Well,
It was taken from my sire.
Valeria.
So it's your ship.
It will be.
That was Valeria Rogers' ship, and she sold it to her brother in blood. A previous child Ian Thorpe had during his days in the Camarilla. His child, unlike Ian, remained in the Camarilla. That is the problem. So
When did she sell it to her brother?
well, we just found out tonight that she had sold it to Damien.
Usually I'm more up to date, but in the regards to ship sales, ship leases, it's a bit vexing.
What she does say that the ship is her personal property of her family, bloodline, and clan. It's not aligned to any of the factions.
Well, it sounds like we have a thief and a liar.
We should maybe first investigate something at the docks. Get a bit of info from there.
Please find out what's going on in the docks. I have no delusions. This is Deidre talking. I have no delusions of you finding Roger there. I fear for the worst, but if you could just keep an eye, just go and check, just anything. The few of us who know are desperate, trying to figure out a way of either making absolutely sure that this was a Camarilla attack, or finding what really happened to avoid a war that could crush us. Because if we start attacking Camarilla and it's unfounded, then the Autarkies will side with it. And they will move every ship in this port to bring as many Camarilla kindred.
Has the ship moved?
Sorry?
Has the ship moved?
No.
Since Roger went missing.
No. the ship was supposed to move in the docks, but it was from the docks, but it was there. I mean, no one knows what you know. No one knows about this person doing this ritual, doing this blood thing. My child saw that. She's been spying on Ned, but it was for totally different reasons. And Roger was not there last night, but he was seen and heard going in the directions with meeting with them, and they never set foot on the ship. I mean, it's a long shot, and probably he was never there. But my child's findings at least point to some dodgy business. We have not wanted to do a full inquiry because we don't want, if this is something that Anarch made, like this deal between Valeria and and Damien, then we should leave it to them and not let the Camarilla see that we might be bickering and struggling amongst ourselves.
Of course.
So just go and see what's going on, please.
Okay, we will do what we can.
She leaves you. Well, she shows you the door as she exits herself, and with her child in tow, says, "Come on, Henrietta," and they just walk up the streets at a very brisk pace. So you're stood there in the street, in front of the house of Deidre. Well, at the house where Deidre brought you in Broadmead. What do you do?
Can you get the records for the docks that night, Dunzer? Is that something you're capable of?
That should not be a problem, but if we want to talk, we should maybe not do it quite in this place. I have a carriage near here. Wanna talk things over before we move on, or should we just decide now already what everyone is going to do? I don't think I've made your acquaintance yet, my lady.
Probably talking to Jacinta.
Yeah, to Jacinta.
My name is Jacinta, and what is your name?
It's a pleasure. Zachariah Dancer.
I have
At
not
your service.
decided if it is a pleasure yet. I'll keep an open mind.
Smart woman.
So the carriage, there is a carriage, not super posh. It's well kept, it's well maintained. It is a merchant, a good one. The moment you go, like the door is open, you can see inside. It is good. It's one of the comfortable ones. It's spacious. It's roomy. Do you hop in?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. So the four of you are in a carriage. Where to, Mr. Zachariah?
First into the direction of the docks.
Okay. General direction of the docks.
Yes.
No hurry.
No
you-
hurry
you
at
have-
the moment. I will mention if it should hurry.
Yes, sir. And the coach driver just goes into the little step behind. Start moving. You have enough privacy in a good coach as you hear the wooden wheels, the banded with iron hitting the cobblestones. So, what do you discuss?
So I'm pretty sure I can make sure whether Rogers ever entered the dock area, and if though I'm not sure if some of the people I'm going to talk with would have noticed anything going on the ship. At that point of night, they're usually rather drunk, but I should be able to make some inquiries there. I'm What is your take on the situation?
Well, we have a name. Damien. If he's in possession of the ship, then I think we need to talk
I
to
will
him.
first need to acquire whether that is true, or whether that is just something that a certain someone has told others without actually making it a case.
Sorry, what was the woman's name? Was it Valeria?
Valeria.
Kraken will say Valeria went to a lot of effort to get that ship. It doesn't make sense that she would just give it away.
She's not the type to make unprofitable ventures.
There must be a reason that she gave it to Damien. The Midnight Rose isn't a ship that you just toss away like that.
Miss Jacinta, you are new to the city. What is your take on the situation?
Sounds like the Camarilla have a hand in this, but I understand that we cannot fight them openly yet, but I think we need to follow the money, sail the ship, and perhaps it will land with the Camarilla.
Indeed. So, what's your plan when we arrive at the docks? You can't just go up there and liberate them.
Well, you can't, but I can.
It is not the best of moves in current Camarilla territory.
Well, nobody sees, nobody tells.
If you say so.
Zachariah, you do know that with enough bribes and moving shillings around, you could make the paperwork for the ship to move anywhere difficult. So any plans of the ship leaving port at any point can be delayed.
Yes. But I'd first like to check out if there was a transfer of ownership, an official one, if something was moved around, if the crew changed, if anything that indicates an actual change of ownership.
Okay.
Rather than just, yes, I totally sold this ship to the Camarilla.
Check the cargo too. Figure out what it's been hauling.
Yes. I know what it has been holding in the last few years, but what it's currently holding is not known.
Well,
Okay,
let's
so-
find out.
So the ship is so the carriage is approaching piers, the harbor actually, and then at some point it'll drop you, so your way to the ship. Not a lot of people, and those who are around are either keeping an eye on things or drunk, as Sakurai said. Are you just gonna walk straight to the ship, or are you gonna do anything?
I would make my way to one of the taverns where the more wealthy traders go in to make my inquiries there, because those are the ones that have people standing around looking at things, and they would have gotten their reports already.
Excellent. So Sakurai starts making a move, not towards the ship, but towards this place where he can just ask for more information and confirmation of other stuff. How about you? 3.
I'm gonna look at Kraken and I'm gonna say, well, infiltrating ships is your expertise, is it not?
The ships I infiltrate tend to not stay on the seas for so long. This isn't a ship that I want to damage.
Is it not your clan's way to be unseen and quiet?
Some of them.
Hmm. I see. Well, then I guess we have a lot of things in common. So if we can't be quiet and we can't do this straight on the nose, I hate to wait on the Giovanni, but I suppose we're kind of stuck here.
Transition, camera pans and follows Zachariah inside the tavern. And it is a lot more lively and much more to your liking, Zachariah. You do recognize some of the people from the trade. Are you just going to ask around basic information, probably about the ownership of the ship, or are you going to be
I'm
doing-
first gonna ask in the way of, I've heard that the Midnight Rose changed hands recently.
Okay? So there is a couple of ways in which we could do this. You could let's see. You could make a roll of charisma plus investigation, and then depending on on the results of the roll, you get the information with a little bit of like role play. Or alternatively, you're trying to get just that information, right?
I mean, that will be the first step. First step would be to check whether the ship actually changed hands.
So you want to, okay?
Then
so yeah,
whether the
let's start with
what happened last week, and then pretty much the last step. And just as a side note, did anybody that fits the description of Rogers show up at the docks last night?
Okay, then do a charisma plus persuasion check, because what you want to do is get people talking.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to be charming, and you want to.
Can I add my influence with the colony traders?
Oh yes, absolutely. What's your influence?
3.
3. So you would add 3 dice to your roll.
Yes.
That is, that's people having disgusting pools. How do you do
No,
this?
I don't have disgusting pools on this. You
Okay.
don't let me roll manipulation. I'm gonna reroll that.
Thank God it's not disgusting. You only rolled 4 successes.
I'm gonna reroll that.
You're gonna reroll?
3 dice.
You're gonna, okay, the 2 1s and the 4. Okay, go for a willpower reroll. Welcome to the world of 6 successes. Okay, you do approach them and people see you. Zachariah, come, I want to buy your drink. No,
I'm not drinking tonight.
Business it is.
Business.
Is it serious?
It's always serious when it's that sum of money.
What do you want to know? What do you want to do? What interests you?
I've heard rumors that the Midnight Rose has changed hands recently.
They look at each other.
Is that true? Because I thought I was informed on the trades like this.
No, I was not informed of this. Where did you hear this?
Really? I heard it just from an acquaintance down in the city.
I doubt anyone will part with that.
Yeah, that was my mind exactly. But it's
no.
But they're usually no change in crew, no change in cargo.
Well, it's been there for
Still
a few
the slaves?
days now. I think they were.
Did they get Did they get their cargo off board?
Yes. I think they took all the cargo, but now, weirdly enough,
not stocked up.
Now, yes, actually, now that you mention it, it didn't do. They did the ship move on board, like the staff move on board and the crew move on board, but they did load it with cargo, like with actual trading cargo instead of supplies.
They just have supplies on board.
Usually, now they are stocking it with cargo, and someone turns and says, "Yeah, that's right." They are now getting some crates, and they're moving all sorts. Also, I assume it's going to be valuable because there's some gunpowder in it.
Gunpowder.
Yeah, a few barrels that were bought. But it looked, I mean, enough to not be just for protection, but not too much that is dangerous to carry around on a ship.
But also not enough to be a supply one for the colonies.
No. It seems that they were stocking up for a big load, probably delivered shortly because they didn't stock up fully with supplies. Maybe they're going to do a byway. Yeah, maybe they're going to stop. Maybe they stop in Portugal or Spain and then sell the cargo and restock there. But yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, but I'm really interested. You couldn't do something that they aren't leaving port too quickly. I have some inquiries to make, and obviously the usual fees. Then the paperwork always takes a while.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting to look into those rumors, because it's never good for business. Rumors, uncertainty, bad for business. Let's make sure that the Rose does not leave port for the next few days. I mean, there's always the matter. I assume you're out of character. I assume you are going to be putting amount of money.
I'm putting money into it.
That type of money that you don't even have to roll. Yeah, it's the type of money that you don't even have to roll up a persuasion, bribery, or whatever check. And they tell you, well, you can trust on us.
Oh, I can always trust you.
You can trust me. That ship is due an inspection.
Yes.
Probably next week. Probably tomorrow. We never know.
Yeah.
And
those inspections always take a while.
He just lets you know that whenever you're happy with your findings, let him know and he will release it.
Yes.
I cannot think. I think I cannot keep her longer than a week.
That should be way more than enough time to find out the necessary things.
Excellent.
Yeah. By the way, did you see that? Did you see someone that fits this description? Entering some of your men see someone fitting that description entering the Haber.
Oh, the description of Roger.
Yes.
No. We'll ask around.
Yeah, just
anyone, an acquaintance of yours?
An acquaintance who more of an acquaintance who went missing, and it's the question whether he washed up in a bottle or just fell into the sea, or it's not too important. But they asked me to.
Have you checked in the hole in the wall?
I haven't checked there yet, but that was the next step.
And you leave, and that gives you like a little. I mean, you sort of smile because you think it's quaint. The hole in the wall is a very real thing. It did happen historically in many places and bars. There would be a hole on the wall on the back, with a door or a trap door, and someone who was wasted or drugged or drunk would be taken out of that door and would wake up in chains, sold to slavery. It would happen. And in Bristol was not the only city who had those sort of holes in the walls. So much so that in modern era Bristol, there is a pub called The Hole in the Wall. But I mean, you think it's cool.
It's very unlikely that.
Yeah, it's very unlikely that an elder Anarch could be drunk and taken out of the hole in the wall. I mean, it's not that.
No. But it's better to just make a sly remark.
So you go back outside. Not long happens. Like this is as long as it took a few minutes.
Meanwhile, the three of us are just like standing out there,
looking
waiting.
menacing and mean.
Can't you make yourself a bit better fitting in? Besides, you fit perfectly in. Because I just imagine he's there in his he's basically looking like a very ugly sailor.
Yeah. But at least he looks like a sailor, so at least
Yeah.
he is. So yes, he comes outside and lets you know about his conversation. So you know that the midnight rose, will be left here for about. I mean, it will not go anywhere for about 5 to 6 days, tops a week.
So we have
And,
time to do some investigating then.
Looks like it, and it doesn't. At least they haven't made it public to the kind that the ownership changed of that ship. So
You said the crew hasn't changed.
yes, that's what I got right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's still the same crew.
Well, the crew must have seen something. I'm sure Charlie and I might be able to make one of them squeal.
That's really not my environment to talk to crewmen, so I leave that to you.
What do you think, Charlie?
Let's go find a piggy.
And I assume with that, both of you start walking in
Yep.
the direction of the ship.
I will go with them as well. Very eagerly.
Zachariah will stand there alone.
Yeah.
looking at the three of them go
It's like
towards the ship.
probably going like, well, you know what? I have good friends inside there. Come look for me
Yeah.
here. And
I'm in there. If you
Zach-
need me,
The
if
three
you
of
need
us are just
someone
like
with a
arm in
brain.
arm.
Slack.
so a gangrel, a Bruya, and a Nosferatu walk out of a bar, while Zachariah goes and sits with his fellow
And just
merchants.
makes some small talk.
And you
some
have
small
influence
deals on the
3
side.
with them, so you need to keep that influence
Yeah.
running. So I would assume that you are going to be you're going to be looking for someone of the crew to ask a few friendly questions.
I
Yeah.
have a plan, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have a pretty lady here, and me and Mitch do not look like pretty ladies. So why don't we use her as bait and see if we can't get someone off that ship?
Well, you can definitely run that plan by Jacinta and see what she thinks about it.
I'm not accustomed to being used in this manner, but if it yields answers, then I'll give it a try.
I don't mean to be rude, but it's kind of obvious that I'm not going to catch the eye of a sailor. Neither is
No.
Kraken.
No, I quite understand. I'll give it a go.
Depends on a sailor.
So I would assume that the other two remain behind.
I think we're probably going to go find a nice shadow to stand in, just out of view.
Yeah. The Kraken will say, you take the lead on this one, Charlie. I'll be here to give him an extra fright if we need it.
I appreciate that.
So I will find a kind of shadowy corner somewhere, and you can stand in, you stand in the shadowy alleyway, and I'll stand at the corner of the shadowy alleyway. And then we'll have a kind of...
I feel like we just became a street gang like that, just like real fast.
Jacinta starts walking towards where the ship is, and of course the ship is tied alongside. So some of the you will not be able to get all the way to the ship, but some of the crew is off the ship, and some of them are drinking. And there is a place where it's not exactly a tavern; it's just more like an open. Sort of the windows, the big windows of a house open, where someone is serving them food and drinks from them, but everybody remains outside. So I would assume you start by ordering a drink, or waiting for someone to talk to, or are you actively doing so? What's your approach? Tell me about it. What does Jacinta do?
So she's gonna kind of neaten her hair a little bit as best she can, which is difficult. Maybe unbutton a button on the blouse and look a bit more seductive. And she's probably going to approach someone who doesn't look too drunk, maybe drunk enough to be a bit loose-lipped, but not completely incapable of any sense. And I suppose she would just sit beside them and just say, "A moment of your time, please, sir."
Why do I have the pleasure? Do you want a drink? Can I get a drink? Do you want a drink?
No, I'm quite all right, but thank you.
And he's either way. He beckons. He calls for the drink.
Okay, I just ignore that. And just say, sorry to pry, sir, but you're part of the crew here, yeah?
Oh, I'm part of a crew.
Yes. Crew?
Yes, one crew. We're the crew.
Right. I was just wondering if were you on board last night?
You're very pretty, and he puts a hand on your thigh.
I try not to flinch as best I can, and try and keep it together, and then just kind of pat his hand gently, and a kind of okay, that's okay. So as I was saying, you were here last night on board?
Yeah. Yeah, but I've been here for a few weeks. First night out in weeks. First, I've been on leave. I don't want to run ashore, but I and the drinks arrive, and he puts one in front of you, and he keeps on drinking on his. He's kind of very distracted between the undone button of your blouse, or at least the general area, and his drink, and probably a light behind you that's his gaze like one of those fireflies. And he remains like motionless, and then snaps back at whatever it is that you're saying. He's not very conducive of a conversation. He needs a little bit of prompting. The thing is that but you notice that he can tell you a lot about his life. Whether or not you believe him is another matter. He can tell you a lot about what he thinks about music, whatever. But about the crew and the ship, tells you nothing.
Okay. I'm going to lean in a little bit to him. Flutter my eyelashes a little bit more. And just say, "Listen, it's wonderful to know about you, really it is, but I'm just curious. Has anything strange happened here recently? I heard something about the ship changing hands. Do you know anything about this?"
You're very, very. You ask many questions about the ship. It's gonna make me think that you love the ship more than you love me.
Well, we've only just met.
Yeah, but I know you love me. I know you love me already. And you can feel his alcohol drink stench from his breath.
Okay.
Crew matters. We don't talk crew. Ship. That's not no one's business. Like outside crew.
Why is it a sore topic for some reason?
Why are you so curious about it? Why don't we go take a walk, just the two of us?
Okay, I can take a walk.
Okay, and he starts walking in a direction that he probably either there is the 1700 equivalent of a 1 hour hotel, or a place or something. I would say do me a roll of anything, but this man is drunk enough to talk, because you can perceive that he's drunk, but he still has the presence of mind of not saying anything about the crew or the ship. So he has it together at some level. But between your natural charms and sort of like that predatory, toying with him, you manage to get him in the direction you want to go. It's not going to be difficult. Also, I already had a peek at your character sheet, and that would have meant going like, okay, can you please make a roll off, and then the bucket with the dice. Because that's what happens when you have a very sociable gang group. So I would imagine that you take the man to a more private place, darker, quieter, with 2 other vampires waiting for him. So it's not like, I mean,
yeah.
he does like the prospect of it once he starts walking with you and behind you. And then he sees you take, into this sort of alleyway and stuff. And he was like, oh, okay, quiet part of town, dark part of town. Okay, she might be shy or whatever. And he is literally undoing the lacing on his shirt when he goes in.
I'm
You can
gonna
already see Schwein
and looks up.
standing behind him.
Oh no, Kraken's not visible yet, right?
No.
Okay.
I think
just Charlie.
I think as the guy's like undoing his shirt, he's gonna look up, and I'm just gonna be standing behind Jacinta like this, looking at him. And I'm gonna reach kind of over her and grab him by the collar and look down. Are you all right, miss? Is this man bothering you?
Like, she brought me here. She brought me here. She brought me here.
He's just not telling me what I want to know. I just asked him some questions, and he just assumes, we're already at the stage in our relationship.
The gaze of the mind changes, and you do realize that half of the, well, not half, but at least 20% of the dreamers was an act. Because he does look at you. What do you want to know? Who are you?
You don't get to ask questions. Now, I think that you should answer the nice lady's questions, or I think I might have to do something to you.
Can you do a strength plus intimidation check?
I can definitely do that.
Oh, come on.
Yes.
And here I was
I
like...
don't think you use Daunt.
Sorry?
Oh, no, I'm not using that yet. That's for special occasion.
Well, what? Oh, the specialty?
Well, I have Daunt, but I'm not going to use it.
Oh,
on him.
Daunt. My God. I mean, well, you got... Wait, those were 5 successes without Daunt?
Yeah, straight up.
Like, you know what? We're not going to use Roll20 for my next one shot. Everybody rolls way better than myself. I was super proud that this mortal had 3 successes. Because this is social combat.
That's cute.
And I was like, yeah, there's a chance. So he takes 2 willpower damage, halved and all that. He tries to get, like, take your hand off. Emphasis on the try. He tries. Who sent you? And he is a little paler. Are you remaining in the social combat?
Oh yeah.
Because he will. Can you do? Yeah. Are you changing your tactic? Or are you just holding on strongly?
I'm gonna, as gently as Charlie can, press him into the wall by his collar. Say, I said you weren't allowed to ask questions, and I think this time around I am going to use Daunt.
Done. It's done. Don't even roll. I just saw your pool of strength plus intimidation plus disgustingness. And Daunt also, it means that he has to do resolve checks. He's already at a willpower disadvantage. Let's call it even. He's a poor mortal. He just shuts up, as if acknowledging the do not ask questions. And he
Okay.
just looks at you and then towards Jacinta. Lots of
Okay.
rage in his.
I'm going to keep holding him against the wall, and I'm just going to step out of the way so that him and Jacinta can have a nice civil conversation. But I'm here just to mediate.
Way to mediate. Jacinta?
So, as I was saying, I merely wanted to know if you knew anything about the ship here changing hands recently.
Nothing concrete. We're changing routes.
Okay, do tell.
Well, we usually go back and forth from the colonies. And now for this trip we're going to Europe first, and then potentially the Mediterranean. But we will get further instructions when we get to Europe.
Okay, do you know why you were making this change?
No,
Then where are the instructions coming from?
the captain.
Okay, and where might we find this captain now?
Probably in town. He's staying in a nice place.
That's not very practical. Can we have an address, maybe?
I don't know the exact place. I've just heard the old market.
Not very familiar with nice places in the old markets. Are any of you familiar?
Yeah. Probably the guy you left at the tavern.
Okay.
And he does tell you like, me neither. I don't know the city that much. I'm not from around here.
Can I give him like a violent shake and then put him back against the wall?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna say, why don't you tell the nice lady your captain's name?
Francis. Jameson.
Thank you. That wasn't so difficult, was it?
I'm gonna look to the shadow in the corner of the alley and say, do we have any more questions for him?
He's poor mortal.
Kraken will step out of the shadows, looking at the man, and say, "You've seen strange things on that ship, haven't you?"
He nods.
Tell us.
We're on shore because a woman was brought on board a few nights ago, and they've kept us away from the ship.
A little strange for a ship's crew to not be allowed on the ship, isn't it?
What's even stranger are the barrels of blood that come in. Cow's blood all the time.
Did you see this woman? Can you give us a description of her?
Yes, I did get a good look at her. She's not that old, you know. Actually, I thought she was a maiden, but no, she must be. She's the age of a well-to-do married woman, aka around mid-20s, late 20s. She has black wavy hair and a small nose. She's so white, pale. I thought she had scurvy or something. But then she would have been looking more yellow. She looked ill. She's yay high, about 5'6". And she always walks as if she knew the men were looking at her. And she wanted to give them a good show. She has a very low and raspy voice, as if wanting to seduce your play with your mom. She's trouble. That woman is trouble.
Do we know an Anarch fitting this description?
Nope.
Sounds like Camarilla shit to me.
Are you saying that out loud in front of the sailor?
I didn't. That's just me.
Nice save, Elfanes. Nice save. Okay.
Does she have a name?
Well, Captain called her Ariana. But can I go now? Looking at Charlie.
Well, we have a captain, we have a witch, we have a ship that's been put off course. I'm gonna look at Jacinta and I go, "Can I buy you dinner?" And then I'm gonna smash his head against the wall.
I think I quite like that.
Oh my god. I'm just checking the Chronicle Tenants. I think nothing on the Chronicle Tenants does go with this.
It's not cruel. I'm putting him out of his misery.
That's the thing. Okay, so big parenthesis. The Chronicle Tenants for this. I mean, I cannot believe I didn't do it at the beginning. So as usual, Blood on the Severn has different Chronicle Tenants for each era, but the pervasive one is going to be my faction right or wrong. So that is across the eras, every time that's our Chronicle Tenant. Then we have two more Chronicle Tenants. Traitors never prosper, which might be one of the main reasons that Matt was so adamant on not betraying the trust of his ship and crew. And cruelty is for the weak. And do you have any sort of because you could have let him go, you could have like pummeled him. Do you have any convictions that can help you, shield yourself against?
I mean,
it's not going to be a stain storm, but it's going to be stain worthy.
I think I have. If they will not respect me, they will fear me. And this guy has been a little shit for a while. Yeah, but also, I guess I am not like torturing him or anything. I'm just caving his head in. It's gonna be fast.
Oh my god.
I didn't realize she was trying to kill him. I thought she was just kind of shoving him. But if Jacinta knows that she's going to kill him, Jacinta stop.
There are no outward signs of that happening.
Okay. Yeah.
It just happens. That Charles flattens the face of this man and the head against. He just flattens, just caves it in. You do get one stain. You manage to sort of like ting. They say yeah, because there's not many people that will carry your reputation that are not kindred, because the only people surviving in this is the two of them. But eventually they might say anything around it. It's like, yeah, don't mess with Charles Strike.
The Kraken would be like, Jesus, Charlie.
Jacinta would say,
Which is
was
kind of
little-
like,
Sorry, I just say that was a little unnecessary. I may have to rethink dinner.
Mm. Wow.
Okay. Anyone going back to talk to, to ask Zachariah about the information that you've got, if he has, because he does know the city very well.
Yeah,
we're gonna go collect the guy with the single brain cell between all four of us, and then I also kind of want to point out that, like, we're going back to collect Zachariah. Meanwhile, I probably have one hand that is just like covered in blood, and it's like, we got information.
Yes, yes, that is exactly what I.
So
Well,
yes, you got information.
yeah, well, Jacinta is the one that's gonna walk inside the inn and look for you, and you immediately you say, "Hey, well, thank you very much. Now I have other business to attend to. This is one of my associates. It's introduced. Everybody's quite pleasant. It's a very short, like a very fast thing, and then all of a sudden you're outside, and Charles has his hand and one side of his clothes are splattered with blood.
I
And
don't know what
basically-
I expected, but
because basically,
so what did
as
you
you
find
walk
out?
as you walk out, Jacinta will say, like, we have information, and then you see.
I don't know
The-
what I expected.
Never
Take it
mind
away.
that. We need your knowledge of.
So
you
what
rich people.
what did you find out? So what did you find out?
We have the name of the captain, Francis Jameson.
Does that ring any bells for me?
Nope. Well, yes, he's the captain of the
Yeah.
Midnight
Okay.
Road.
So nothing changed in it. He's not
No.
in any way. He's not a ghoul of.
No, not that you know of.
Okay.
Hopefully, it won't be.
And we know roughly where to find him. He's staying in a well-to-do place in the old square.
Yeah.
Perhaps you may
Uh,
know such a place.
I do. Anything about the magic stuff?
So you know? Oh, about the magic stuff. I think you were
Yeah.
asking.
No,
Yeah,
I wasn't asking you. Sorry.
Yes,
Alright.
the crew have been. Sorry, Kraken.
no, go on.
The crew have been kept away from the ship, and a woman has been seen on board. She sounds like she may be kindred. Described as pale. Described as her name is Ariana. Do you recognize that name?
No.
at all?
No.
Yep.
Perhaps.
Fair
we should
enough.
go-
You know where she's staying?
No.
On
we don't know
board.
that. We should speak to the captain, I think.
Yes, that will be the.
Yeah, she's staying
Easiest
on board, Charlie, and yes, you should speak to the captain. Well, I mean, if you want to.
Yeah.
Are you gonna look for him tonight? Are you gonna
How late
chase
is
him?
it?
Are you... Not too late. About it's just past midnight.
Then I could expect the captain to still be drinking, basically.
Probably.
Then I'd motion for the others to accompany me to meet the captain.
Okay. You take your coach,
Carriage.
so the carriage. So it's not a big deal. Also, for the rest of you, it actually makes a difference to have a carriage. You can get faster to place. You can do multiple things in a single night instead of trying to make everything happen in one place and then leave other stuff for another night.
You also don't have to walk.
the the place where Captain Francis Jameson.
I would stop the carriage at some place where Charlie could clean his side off in some way or form.
Yeah.
We're gonna stop at mine. I'm gonna get a clean shirt and jacket, and then we're gonna keep going.
The place is at the Quakers, yeah, near the Quakers workhouse. So it's not like a super posh place, but it's near the old market. There's the Quakers workhouse and the Quakers meetings. There are sort of east of the old market, and of course, that gives you an idea that getting into that place is going to be kind of complicated, because if he's staying there, most likely Francis Jameson is a Quaker. Not likely that they're going to let you in past midnight.
Aren't Quakers pacifists too?
Captain, that's a pacifist. Now that's something. A Quaker on a ship like that's a interesting turn of events.
Quakers don't sound like the type that Toreadors keep around.
Also not exactly the type that carry too many slaves.
If I remember correctly, Quakers were abolitionists.
Yes.
Some of them, yes.
Yes, and the Black Horse is currently a slave ship.
And that is actually quite. It's nice that you saw through it, things instead of being Zachariah with a roll. When you get there and you see where he's staying, and you're having this conversation, Zachariah says, "This is very odd. He works on a slave ship, yet he's here at the Quakers." And immediately that disconnection is brought up. You are now very aware that either he is not a Quaker, he's just pretending to be one, or at least pretending to profess religion in that way, or this is an ambush. Can I have wits plus alertness rolls from everybody?
The strongest combination.
Let's see those rolls. Wits plus alertness. Ooh. See? Not so big the dice pools now, right? No one's getting successes now, right? Look. So we have two successes for Zachariah, one success for Kraken, two successes for Jacinta. Not phone. 4 successes from Raven-eyed Charlie Shrike. Okay. And this is where it gets interesting, because Charlie is the only one who will have a chance to react during the first round of this 3-round Royal Rumble. Let's see how you make it out of it. From the side of the street, right on the way to the Quaker workhouse, from the bushes of a very nicely trimmed garden, jump 5 figures. All of them jump on you. I'm just gonna ask Cedar, what is Charlie's first instinct? They are all coming at you. Some of them, like like empty-handed. One of them claws out, and a couple of them with knives. and then in short, very short swords or very long knives, depending on how you want to think of it.
Sorry, did you just say
Um,
claws?
One of them, yes.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
Oh.
Charlie's first instinct is to step in front of Jacinta,
Mm-hmm.
and he's going to probably turn on Dread Gaze and see if he can slow them down.
Okay, dread gaze is it? Remind me, just a one target thingy, or can it be applied to multiple people?
Ooh. I think it's probably a.
I think it's single target.
Let me try and find out.
Looking as well.
I want to say my gut says single target.
A single subject, yeah.
Okay, which one?
Then whoever is closest to us.
Whoever is closest to you, one of the guys with a bigger knife.
Mhm.
It's like a big Bowie knife. Okay, cool. What is the contested roll? So I do my roll on my side.
I believe it is.
Composure resolve for the
For
defending.
me. Okay. Culture plus resolve. Then you roll. I think yours is with your discipline. I don't.
Yeah, yours is charisma presence.
Charisma plus presence. Cool.
Alrighty.
Did you roll already?
Just a sec.
So on if this guy is immortal, then on a
He's-
fail, he'll
none
be
of them
unable
are
to act
mortal.
for a turn. Okay.
None of them are mortal. Three successes. 2. So talk to me, Mitch. What happens if I fail?
So on a win for the user, vampires are unable to act other than in their own defense for a turn unless they spend willpower equal to the user's margin of win.
Okay, cool. I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. So I'm just gonna go and shish kebab the rest of you. Does that sound like an amenable thing?
Sure.
If it has to be.
It is destiny. Oh, that's a lucky one. Zachariah, you take 2 superficial, half rounded.
Yes.
Don't need to round it. 1 superficial. On the case of the Kraken takes 3 superficial, half rounded up to 2. And Charlie will take 2 superficial, not half because they're from claws. Oh, sorry, no, that would be 3 superficial. Claws are +2, not +1. 3 superficial, not halved, and then another 2 superficial. Those are halved, round up. So 1.
Well, if I have not healed the gunshot wound, I'm
yeah,
on the
no.
floor, folks.
What's your stamina? Sorry, what's your health?
5.
Oh, that's enough. You had 3 non-halved and then 2 halved, so you have 4. So
Oh,
you're not even
beautiful.
impaired. And all of this is superficial. None of this is aggravated.
Perfect.
Okay.
Scared me for a minute.
Yeah, it's okay. I love the 1, 2, 3 round combat, especially when the first round is ambush. So we have like a short combat in our hands. What are you gonna do, guys? Just describe what would be your actions, and then we will resolve them in the order of the things in the book.
Okay. Zachariah would look at the person that attacked him, try to look him in the eyes, and tell him to lay down on the floor.
Okay.
Mesmerize.
Is it looking at someone in the eye in the middle of combat is a risky proposition at best.
Yes.
It is complicated. So that will fall into the everything else. So he will have his go first
Yes.
before you. Mitch, what is Kraken doing?
I would also like to make a rouse check to heal if that's possible. At the same time.
Yeah, in your turn you can do.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Can you remind me the rules for bite attacks? I know that
Yes,
they were routed, weren't they?
they were errated, but yeah, you just reduce the.
It's either -2 dice or -1 success.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
You-
and then it's just 2
It's a call
aggravated.
shot, but call shots, instead of increasing the difficulty, just reduce the number of die you're rolling. That's it.
Okay. I think I will try to make
A bite,
a bite attack at the
Attack.
guy that is attacking me.
the one that just punched you.
Mhm.
Jacinta.
I would activate feral weapons, and I would go for the one that hurt Charlie, probably.
Well, there are two, so you can go for those.
Yeah, the most threatening one I'd probably pick a fight with.
There's another one with claws, so
That guy, yeah.
okay. Charlie.
If Jacinta's going ham, then I guess I might as well too. So I'm just gonna pick the opposite guy to what she is fighting and just start pummeling.
Okay, cool. So let's start with you, Cedar.
This
This
guy
is
has
gonna
a
be
short
two-way?
sword, right?
It has a big knife, and the
Okay.
other one has a claws.
Okay.
So you're going for the big knife, right? It's gonna be a
Yep.
two-way roll.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna rouse to heal, rouse to use disciplines, rouse to anything?
I'm probably gonna. I'm gonna rouse to heal.
Okay.
If you've got Daunt up, they have to make a roll to attack you.
That
Just wanna-
was
Just want to
that
point
was
out.
Charles Shrike. Subconscious memory.
Everybody has a tiny Mitch in their brain that tells them how to play the game properly. Okay, yeah, then I'm gonna add I'm gonna add my daunt and just see if I can't punch this guy.
Yeah, do
Into the ground.
normal. Give me a strength plus brawl then, since it's a punch.
All right.
Melee if you're using a knife or something.
Nope.
Okay, strength plus brawl.
And I'm gonna add daunt.
No, don't add to them if they want to attack you. I have to make a roll and get how many successes?
2.
successes.
2. Yeah.
Yes, got it.
Rip.
Okay,
Is that your strength brawl? That doesn't seem right.
That doesn't seem right.
That's not your roll. You roll 3 dice.
It should have added strength. Okay, hold on a second. What? That's better.
That looks more like your dice pool.
I'm definitely spending willpower of mine, which turned it from 1 success to 3 successes. So you beat me with a margin of 2. Boom, boom. Okay, you're hitting the guy. I mean, you're getting none, which is good. Let's
Did
go.
you want to heal, Cedar?
Oh yes, and do a rouse check, please.
Mm-hmm.
How's Charlie feeling right? Oh, great rouse check.
Oh, he's real angry.
Can you do a fury frenzy for me? So it's very simple.
I would love to.
It's very simple. So on Charlie Shrike's character sheet at the bottom, there is a button that you click for frenzy. It'll ask you how much willpower you have. So how much willpower have you spent willpower since we started playing?
I have not.
Okay.
My willpower is 5.
Okay, and then submit, and then it'll ask you for your humanity.
Hmm.
You put the
That
score.
is- Yep.
And then you subtract dice equal to your pain severity, which is in this case 1.
Tight.
-1. Okay, you made it. 3 successes. Things can change very rapidly. I'm just saying. Let's go to Clawtown. Talk to me, Jacinta.
Okay, so I'm activating feral weapons. I need to
Mhm.
rouse to do that, so I shall
Yep.
roll that now.
Mm-hmm. You
Ooh,
go up and
I
hungry.
go hungry. Okay, that is fine, and I will slash claw guy.
Okay. Claw him.
Okay, sorry, is that brawl?
That's
Brawl
strength plus brawl. Sorry about that.
Okay. And I had a 2+ modifier. Oh, I think I'm going to willpower that.
Okay. Go to your willpower area. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dice that you can. So you can reroll up to 3.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Oh yeah,
So you-
yes, it's critical, isn't it?
Yeah, you just turned your failure into a critical win for a total of 5 successes against my meager 2.
Excellent.
So that's 3 plus 2 from the claws. That's 5 superficial non-half.
Yes.
And you get clawed on the side, Charlie. And I'm hearing myself coming back through somebody. Nope, it's me.
I can hear it as well.
Okay. So you get clawed on the side, Charlie. And then you get not stabbed, slashed, say. And from the side, as you are punching the guy that is in front of you, knife, Jacinta just shows up, and with her claws, she rends the guy from gut to shoulder, cross. I think it's your microphone is the one that is making the feedback, Cedar. Sorry, you're a
Is it
speaker.
mine? I have my headphones plugged in.
So while we checked on that, yes, it is you. I see the flashy thingy on the Kraken.
Mm-hmm.
Your turn.
Sweet. So I'm making a bite attack, which is I don't know what the dice pool is for that.
A strength plus brawl.
Strength plus brawl. You don't get any sort of bonus for being hunger 0, do you? Or do you?
You get 0 hunger dice. And -2 because it's a bite attack.
Okay.
But it's aggravated.
I'm gonna rouse for this.
Okay, you add those dice to your roll, and then you do the rouse check afterwards.
Yeah. So I'll just subtract 1, right?
Mhm. Doo-doo-doo. I can see the dice coming. Oh my fucking god!
I mean, yeah.
Alright, it's only a bite attack. Yeah.
Only 2 aggravated damage.
Just a love bite.
I think the only reason I
you might
feel
win.
well is because I rolled 3 successes,
And I did fail my rouse
which was
check.
not like super amazing. You fail. You go to hunger 1.
Mm-hmm.
You had to pay a price.
Oh no.
But I mean but the critical win will give you something, and I am a very good an advocate of. For example, right now the person that is fighting with Jacinta is impaired. Regardless, like even if they heal some of the superficial, she critted them, so the impairment remains for an additional round. That is the effect of the critical. In the case of Kraken, you have a hold on the guy. You can feed from him. You can, as long as you don't want to leave it, he will have to crit win to, like, unless you choose to let go or you die, he has to crit win on the opposed check to get rid of you. So you're pretty much now like a pit bull. Does that make sense?
Nice.
And Sakuraya will get slightly skewered but it's with a small knife. Don't worry about it. I promise I will have like 7,000 success. 1, 2, 2. So that's
Half?
three because the knife adds.
Yeah.
But
So
it's
we
half
get 2
rounded up, so two superficial.
Yeah, and I tell him, lie down and stay down.
Okay, do the roll.
First the rouse check or after the rouse check?
The rouse check is after the roll.
Okay.
But the roll it will come. The roll will have a -1 penalty because of you trying to.
I
get
will rouse
a
check
lot.
for it.
The thing is that you're in melee, so it's like
Yeah.
kind of easy.
Yeah, I will rouse check for it.
You will
get
rouse.
a bonus
You will
dice.
do a blood search. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that will cancel the penalty.
Yeah.
Okay, beat me. Come on, I want to see you beat me. Uh-huh.
I will reroll that.
Oh shit.
I have 3 dice to reroll.
Oh, you're re-rolling. Oh shit.
Yes.
I thought we were even.
No!
Oh,
Yes! Finally.
No!
Please don't.
He
kill
looks
our
at
brain.
you really like oddly. It's like, but like nothing changes. He's just you say, lie down and stay down, and the guy just tries to get another stab at you. He does feel the thing, but he just calls away,
I get 1 hungry.
and you get hungry. Okay, actions before we move on.
Oh man.
Let's go, Charlie. Action.
Oof. I guess if Jacinta's taking care of this guy, I'm just gonna like look at her and just like Charlie has this look of complete delight on his face at her claws and her bloodshed, and then he's gonna let that guy go because he's taking care of her and just turn to move towards whoever is attacking Craig.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think he's probably just gonna take out his knife and just try and gut the guy. Because if Kraken's got him in a hold, then he's easy.
Well, there's the guy you dread gaze that he's gonna be coming this round.
Yes, also another guy stepping me.
Jacinta, I assume you remain with the same target, or you go for another target.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and finish him off, but I'll activate Dawn as well, just for the hell of it, because she can kind of smell his fear and she's really enjoying it, so she wants to intensify that.
My kind of woman.
I have to try.
That was just me on the inside.
Okay. Kraken?
If I'm getting help with it, like if Charlie is coming over to attack the guy that I'm holding, then I will try to make him as easy a target as possible.
Okay.
Like I will just like grapple him and like try and hold him back so that he's just easy picking.
Okay.
I don't
Zachariah,
know how you want to deal with that.
I'll have to try the same thing again, and heal again.
don't you have didn't you have a gun or a knife or something?
Right, I have a
You had like a
have a
flintlock
flintlock gun.
pistol.
Yes.
I mean,
you're right. I'm gonna pull that out and basically point blank in his face and hope that it does anything.
I mean, actually, that makes it you go first in the round because you're in those bouts, and then you go lie down, stay down, and you give a couple of steps back. Then immediately you just train a gun to his face. I will allow it to be a two-way roll instead of you shooting at static difficulty 1. But he will be able to dodge. Basically, you're so close that he will try to dodge it. But that means that he's not going to be trying to skewer you.
Nice.
Silver linings, right?
Yes.
You go first.
I'm gonna pause for this. It's composure, right?
Composure plus firearms.
Yes.
If you're rousing.
1 die extra dice.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Okay, so your check is 4 successes.
Nice. And a rouse check.
To my dexterity plus athletics. Ah, shit. It's with athletics, right?
Yes, it's athletics.
Sucks. You hit him. You hit him. With a margin of 2, and that is a gun, so that's plus 3 damage. For a total of 5, half, rounded up 3.
Damage.
So 3 damage. You try to shoot him in the face. You end up shooting him like around the neck or the collarbone, something that would have like probably kind of killed somebody
If he was a mortal.
If he was a mortal, but it's enough damage. What we're gonna do is give me a roll. No, actually, you don't give me a roll. The guy is grappled, so you don't need to give me a roll, Mitch. What is your brawl?
My brawl is 3.
Okay, Charlie, do me a strength plus melee because you have the knife. You will add 1 success to the total, so you don't need to add bonuses, dices, or thingises.
Well, I have no melee, so it's just strength.
Okay. Wow. That is 4 successes. Plus the Mitch special. All of that is damage that I'm adding. He's not in a 2-way. I just want to see how much you can like gut him. And that is enough to torpor him because he already had aggravated damage from Mitch's bite. Okay. And Jacinta. Your turn.
Strength and brawl. Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Contested. And now I'm gonna rouse.
Oh.
Gonna rouse because this guy wants to get it on.
Okay, I can rouse, can't I?
Yeah, you can.
I'll rouse.
No, it's okay. You don't need to. The rouse check is after the roll. It will, when you do a blood search, it will give you an extra success.
Okay.
An extra success, no, an extra die. So you do your strength plus roll. Okay, it's not a messy critical.
You can reroll.
I can, but my willpower is dangerously low.
Ooh. I mean, but you could kill him, or at least torporize him.
I will go for it in that case. Let's do it.
Wow. Okay, that was kind of disgusting.
You
Because
didn't prompt me.
but the thing is that I had 3 successes. So now you're beating me by a margin of 3 plus 2 of the claw. So you're
It's a shame.
literally filling his track with aggravated damage. That is the definition of torp. And after 3 rounds, a fight that was supposed to be 5 versus 4 with ambush ends up with 2 people in torpor, one loud gunshot that like is bringing people to a halt, and they are now 3, slightly damaged, not too much. So you make quick, you dispatch them quickly. All of them torporized. Or at least defeated. You take them all down. You take I would assume you take the news to Deirdre that you were investigating this and you were ambushed. You were attacked by a group.
I mean, I kind of assumed that we would take one of the torpid vampires with us,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Oh, I would assume that you would
I would
take all
assume
of them.
we put all of them in the carriage.
Yeah, in the carriage,
Yeah.
yeah. Can I have
And it's
one
used to
one final wits plus alertness from everybody roll before I do continue with the narration? Oh my god.
We are
It's
not
the
very
club.
alert.
It's the club of the blind people. So we have 2 successes from Charlie and Sakuraya.
How do I roll 2 successes on this?
2 on the hunger die.
Yeah,
Yes.
not
Don't
even a
question
messy
it.
crit as well.
Don't just let it happen. Okay. So it's the time you go to Dietrich, you put the torporized people. Like a few rounds later, you're torporizing 1 or 2 more and taking someone probably very beaten. You take them to Deirdre. Say, these are the people attacked us. Deirdre asks you to put them below in the cellar. And then tells you that everything that is going on with the road is kind of at odds at the moment. There was further developments to what had occurred with the current situation. We are on the brink of war. A group of Anarchs that were unhappy with what happened tried, and I do emphasize, tried an ambush on the Camarilla, specifically the sheriff constable. He escaped by the skin of his teeth, not before taking a few down, and rightfully so. He was assaulted. It was aggression that didn't need to happen.
So this is their revenge.
It's complicated. A group of Anarchs made the wrong first move, and now we are going to struggle to make this right. I need to ask a few of you favors. If you can make sure that the rose is taken out of the piers, just take it away. I don't know why it's
Taken away now.
just as soon as you can take it.
That
You-
is not a problem.
I don't know, Kraken, Charlie, talk to your people. Sakuraya, make it happen.
It will happen.
Go in, storm the place, steal the rose. Cinta, I need you to just be patient with the city. I'm really sorry. If you have anyone to hold up with during these times, I don't want to be asking too many favors of you since you're new. But if you have anyone you know that you can go and spend a few nights with them in safety, I would recommend it. Anyone comes to mind?
No one immediately, but I'm good at hiding. I'm sure I'll find somewhere.
Excellent. Thank you very
You can have a place with me if you need it.
Thank you, Charlie. That's much appreciated.
Well, Charlie's going to be kind of busy doing the
Well,
heist of the rose.
She can stay at mine.
I would offer a guest room in my house, but I guess it's a rather high profile target. I'm not bragging.
You do get a summons, Jacinta, from Valeria.
Mhm.
You had been talking to her a few weeks past, and now this whole situation is making waves. For Sakuraya, it's not a big problem. He moves money as
And
people
inspection is called off.
inspection.
Some
called off.
people, some guns, knives, men are supplied to Kraken.
That exactly. Thank you very much. So, for Kraken's and Charlie's cliques, gunpowder, guns, weaponry, and even other hired arms. He moves money as people move air in their lungs. Effort. Things literally happen in a blink of an eye And then Kraken and Charlie have a small sort of commando group that goes in, captures the rose, and what do you know? It's absolutely clear to go on the Avon Ribbon all the way to the Avon mouth and out the Severn estuary before the night is done.
And it's probably not even reported as stolen, just as
No.
suddenly bought by an anonymous.
No, it's not going to be reported as stolen. Yep. Now, Jacinta goes to see Valeria. Valeria. You are taken to the reception by one of the servants, and you're waiting there. Your shirt has a little bit of splatters of blood, but it's not yours.
Standard.
It's exactly standard gangrel. She's coming out, and she's having a conversation with her sire. But you hear the conversation before it reaches you. I told you moved too soon. Where are we going to put him now? I make sure that they buried him in his grounds. I'll send the coordinates somewhere. And then they reach. Look at. Boy, oh boy. You were not supposed to hear that. Before Jacinta knows it, Ian Thorpe is in her face with a stake through her heart. He gently lays her down. And she can be faintly aware of what's going in the background. Faintly, ever so slightly, with a very little bit of power. That I say we kill her. No, we didn't kill Roger. We don't kill her. We'll just bury her somewhere else. No, make the preparations. I leave for Germany now. And that is the story of the disappearance of Roger Smith. Thank you very much for watching. It was lovely to have you guys. Thank you very much. I hope that you're happy, Mitch, that Kraken got back the rose. I hope that you're happy. Charlie, that you got to kill many slavers, except the one you wanted to kill, because the one you wanted to kill actually made your life easier. Zachariah loved it. Elthings, thank you very much. Love the character, loved the concept, loved everything. Jacinta, amazing character. And rest assured that now that Jacinta has been staked together with Roger Smith, she will be around for Blood on the Severn. She is one of the characters that will survive all the way to 2008, the time Roger is rose from his torpor as one of his representatives. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you everybody that has been supporting us through this time. Thank you to my lovely players. Thanks to all our disaster goals. Thanks to Peter, because he's been taking care of me while I am all over the place. And he made dinner, and that pasta bolognese is so good. And thanks to our patrons for making this happening. Special, super special, amazing shout out to the wonderful artist Cedar Whitmanayel, because she did the art of our characters. And I hope you liked it. I will see you guys next week for the season finale of Season 2, Blood on the Thameses. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.
See you.